it plain. I am your host, Alfonso McGriff III, and I'm in the house to do the doggone thing once again. You know, I've been gone for a minute. Last week was a holiday, and the week before that, the station was closed. So, you know, it's good to be back. And I do appreciate you guys tuning in, because you can be doing a host of other things, beautiful weather outside, all kind of stuff going on, and you decided to tune in and check out the show. So I definitely appreciate it. I went to Atlanta to a speakers boot camp. It was a 2-day boot camp from 8 to 5 on Saturday and 8 to 5 on a Sunday to get some information on how to get more involved in being a public speaker. And a lot of the people at this particular boot camp were people who were interested in being motivational speakers. And, you know, I really have no desire to be a motivational speaker, but I do have a desire to share information about effective communication, because I think that's one of the key areas where we are lacking as it relates to our ability to communicate to one another without negative emotions getting involved. So I went to this boot camp and I learned a lot of information about public speaking and how to really get out there and make it happen. You know, I have a desire to speak at colleges and universities and major conferences around the country. I'll tell you, one of my personal goals is to be one of the key presenters at, like, the Essence, you know, that Essence festival that they have, and they have all of these people speaking at these different conferences and different types of speakers. They have motivational speakers and stuff. Well, ultimately, I like to be one of the presenters at the Essence Festival, speaking about effective communication. So anyway, when I was at this particular speakers boot camp, and because it was geared towards people who are interested in being motivational speakers, motivational speakers I encourage to tell their story. And when I say tell their story, they're encouraged. It's kind of like you talk about awful things that happened in your life and then what you came through to get where you are. And I guess people connect to that and identify with you and are motivated by you. But that's one of the things they talk about. And for me, I'd never heard so many terrible stories within the context of 2 days. I mean, horrible stories about people and their life tragedies and stuff. And I think anybody that lives has a horrible story to tell. And so it was rough for me to listen to all of these terrible stories. But one of the things that was prevalent in listening to these stories was this sexual misconduct thing. These people who are molesting children and things like that, and children who become adults who have been traumatized by the situation, and it affects them for the rest of their lives. So tonight, I want to talk about that. And the tonight's show is we're going to call tonight's show is Time to Tell. And for my religious brothers and sisters, it's time to go tell it on the mountain. And for my brothers and sisters who look for messages from God and Jesus and all that stuff, and if you want to believe tonight God is speaking through me to tell you something, that's good too. I don't have no problem. But just, damn it, go tell. It's time to go tell. It's time to tell. And how my religious brothers and say it's time to tell it on the mountain. And tonight, when we talk about telling it on the mountain, the way we tell it on the mountain tonight is we dial 911. It's time to dial 911. It's time to tell for adults who have been violated. It's time to tell. It's time to tell. This rape and sodomy and physical and mental and spiritual abuse going on in the black community, it's time to tell. We've been quiet for too long. People that have been going through these things, it's terrible. For the youth that are watching or potentially watching, if someone is touching your private parts, and for girls, your private part is your vagina or your anal or the area where you pee from or the area where you do number 2 from. If anybody is touching those areas, it's time to tell. Tell. Dial 911 right now. Right now, dial 911 and tell. If you're a young boy and somebody is touching your private parts and you feel uncomfortable and violated, it's not a doctor. Tell. Dial 911 right now and tell. Somebody's touching your penis or somebody's touching your butt or where you do number 2 from, it's time to tell. Dial 911 right now. And if your molester is sitting there with you right now and looking at you, it's okay. When you're not in their presence, damn it, dial 911 and tell. Don't feel threatened about what they're going to do to you, because all they're going to do is go to jail, and then you won't have to worry. Don't feel bad about how you've heard your parents say, if anybody ever did anything to my child, I'll kill them. The police will get to them before your parents will. Dial 911 and tell. It's time to tell right now. Tell, dial 911. If you're being molested, sodomized, touched in the wrong places, any of that stuff, it's time to tell. If you're an adult and you've been sexually violated, it's time to tell. You got to release yourself of that burden. You can't grow, you can't move forward in life holding on to that. Whoever it is, you have to tell. It's time to tell somebody. You need to tell, and I'm talking about now. For the youth out there, if you're being violated by somebody, dial 911 right now. Call the police and tell. Don't be afraid to tell because of threats against your life, because they'll be in jail and they won't be able to threaten you. So call 911 now and tell. It's time to tell. And like I said, don't be worried about your parents, because you might have heard your parents say that if anybody did anything like that to you, they would kill them. Dial 911 now and tell. Tell the police, tell somebody. Don't keep holding it in. Do not allow anybody to tell you to let God handle it. Dial 911 now and tell. Don't let anybody tell you to pray. Don't let anybody tell you. Dial 911 now and tell. It's time to tell. If you have a parent who doesn't believe that her boyfriend or his girlfriend has been abusing you or molesting you, and you tried to tell your parents, dial 911 now and tell. Dial 911 now and tell. Tell. Don't hold it in. Don't be afraid. The police and the court system and everybody going to take good care of you. Dial 911 and tell. If the preacher is touching you in the wrong place or molesting you or sexually abusing you or anything, dial 911 and tell. If your teacher is touching you inappropriately or molesting you or abusing you, dial 911 right now and tell. Tell somebody. If your relatives don't believe that a family member is molesting you, dial 911 and tell. It's time to tell. If your father is molesting you, or raping you, or sodomizing you, or touching you inappropriately, dial 911 and tell. If your mother is violating you or being inappropriate with you in a sexual manner, dial 911 and tell. If your uncle is violating you molesting you, touching you inappropriately, dial 911 right now and tell. Tell. Dial 911 and tell. Don't wait. Don't wait. Don't allow the process to continue. Don't allow the violation to continue. Dial 911 and tell. Right now. Right now. Right now. Right now. Don't wait another further. Don't wait another minute. Dial 911 and tell. Right now, if your brother is molesting you, is touching you, is sexually inappropriate with you, dial 911 and tell right now. If your sister is violating you and touching you inappropriately or any of that, your aunt is violating you and touching you inappropriately, dial 911 and tell right now. If a close friend of the family is violating you and touching you inappropriately, dial 911 and tell. Those of you that are in the Catholic Church, if you're being mishandled and violated sexually, dial 911 and tell. If you're in the Baptist church, the Pentecostal church, don't matter what religious environment you are in, if you are being violated, dial 911 now and tell. For adults who have been violated sexually by family members or close friends of the family or otherwise, you're going to have to deal with it in order to move forward with life. So you may as well just tell. It's time to tell somebody. It's time to talk about it. Put it on the table. Because it doesn't matter how angry somebody gets, because it's something kind of sick sometimes and goes on in a black family where we're more concerned about the reputation of somebody than we are about the harm the person who's trying to protect their reputation is doing. If you're being violated, dial 911 right now and tell. Tell. It's time, and for adults that have been violated, it's time to tell somebody. You gotta let it go. You gotta let it go. No matter how much you go to church and cry every Sunday, as long as you're holding it in, it's going to be a burden around your neck. You got to tell somebody. You can tell God about it, I'm sure, or Jesus or Muhammad or Abraham or whoever's important to you from a religious standpoint. You can tell them too. But I think you should also tell a human being. Somebody needs to know that somebody is out of order, because these molesters, as long as they're still walking around, then somebody else is their victim. More victims are being violated. So even as adults, if you know somebody that's a molester, you've been molested by somebody, you need to damn tell more than God. You need to tell some human beings, because that's pretty foul. Lives are being destroyed. Lives are seriously being destroyed with this sexual molestation thing. I mean, there are more people messed up with this sexual molestation than anybody listening to this can imagine. There are people watching right now that are either molesters or have been molested. Even if you are a molester and you have been violating children and people, you need to dial 911 and tell on your damn self. You need to get some help, because you're ruining lives. These abusers, men in particular, who are beating up women, who are mentally, physically, and abusing women, you need to dial 911 and tell on your damn self. And the women who are being abused, there's no simple way to say it, and there's no simple solution, but somewhere along the line you have to regain enough self-respect to leave that situation. You need to dial 911 and tell on your damn self too. They have shelters and everything for people who've been abused. Dial 911 and tell on yourself and say you need a shelter tonight. Dial 911 tonight, right now. If you're being violated and abused, call somebody. If it ain't 911, call somebody and damn tell. Get the ball rolling. Because it's a lot of lives being ruined. We talk about gun violence all the time. We talk about financial empowerment. We talk about education. We talk about all of these other things. But if you have a young boy who's been sodomized by a grown man for 3, 4, 5, 6 years of his life, doesn't matter how much economic power he has, doesn't matter how much education he has, none of that matters, because mentally he's jacked up. So this sexual abuse thing is running rampant in the black community. And I don't care how many times I say it over again, lives are being ruined. And we need to damn talk about it. And we need to start dialing 911. 911 is the number you need to call now. If your uncle or your brother or a friend of the family or anybody is being inappropriate with you sexually. And if your abuser, if your molester is looking at you right now, getting ready to change the channel, whatever the deal is, well, just be cool and then call when they're not around. Dial 911 eventually. Get yourself out of that situation, because it's going to affect you for the rest of your life. Even when you do dial 911 and tell, you're still going to have to get through that situation. But at least you're moving towards getting through it. If you don't tell anybody, it's something that's going to be a burden on you for the rest of your life, and it's going to really hinder any kind of true life understanding and progress that you want to go through. So dial 911 tonight, right now, right now. Any children out there who've been violated, call 911 now. Tell it. It's time to tell it. On the mountain or wherever you need to tell it. But dial 911 tonight. That's one place you need to tell it. This physical abuse is getting out of hand too. Men out here who have no juice in their life, no power and dominion in their life. So the only thing they can do is come home and rough up the kids and beat up their woman. You need to get some power and dominion in your life. And the woman in your life need to get some self-respect. There is no reason on the planet for a woman to continue in a relationship where she's getting beat up. Period. And if you come up with reasons why you continue to stay and get beat up, then you also, you also validate the fact that you have no self-respect. Something about self-respect helps people protect themselves mentally and physically and spiritually. Self-respect gives you a natural sense of protection. When you compromise your self-respect or allow somebody to violate your self-respect, or you have no self-respect, you are no longer protected. I don't care what your religious beliefs are. No self-respect, you have no protection. You can call on any of your deities, but if you have no self-respect, you have no protection, no matter who you pray to or no matter who you call on. And if you haven't noticed, when you go every Sunday or Saturday to call on your deity and then go home that very night and get your ass whooped again, doesn't that tell you that it's going to take more than calling on a deity for that to stop? It's going to take more than that. It's going to take more than calling on the deity to stop the abuse. It's going to take you to have some self-respect. Self-respect is self-protect. Self-respect helps protect you mentally, physically, and spiritually. Because when you have self-respect, you appreciate yourself. You appreciate your body, your temple. You appreciate your mind. And you don't allow anybody to damage that. You know, we have enough challenges making sure we demonstrate self-respect with ourselves and trying not to damage our mental and our physical and our spiritual reality. The last thing we need to do is allow somebody else to come in and violate that and damage that. So this physical abuse going on with women, you need more than prayer. You need some self-respect. Because self-respect acts as a wonderful protection when you have it. When you compromise your self-respect, you lose your protection. When you allow people to violate your self-respect, you lose your protection. And for young kids, you know, you develop some self-respect over a period of time. And when you're really, really young and adults are taking advantage of you sexually, you need to, you need help. You need to dial 911 now. And I'm going to say this again, and I don't care how many times I say it. If your preacher is violating you, dial 911. Doesn't matter what their title or who it is. Dial 911 now and tell. Tell somebody. If your teacher is violating you, tell. If your father is violating you, tell. On him too. Tell. Call 911 and tell. Don't let family members talk you out of it. Don't let your mother's boyfriend violate you and then let your mother talk you out of telling. Tell. Call 911 now. Don't call tomorrow. Call now and tell. If your uncle is violating you, call 911. Tell somebody. Tell on him. Tell somebody. Your brother is violating you. Your sister is violating you. Tell. Doesn't matter who it is, because it's going to affect you for the rest of your life unless you do something about it. And the first thing you got to do is tell. Dial 911 and tell. I'm going to open up the lines. 860-524-8920. You know, if you want to talk about this, we can, because we need to talk about it. It's really jacking up the black community. It's you know, as much as we talk about violence out there and we talk about education and we talk about economics, this sexual molestation thing is running rampant. And there's not enough people talking about it. And it's a pretty terrible story to hear somebody tell of how, you know, their parents left them in the house with a friend of the family. And, you know, I was listening to this story. This guy was telling he was in the house with a friend of the family. And, you know, the guy just looked at him and he smiled. And, you know, the guy took advantage of him sexually and started molesting him. And for a long time, he thought that because it was his fault for smiling at the guy, he thought he brought that on himself. He thought he brought it on himself because he smiled. Yes, caller, make it plain.
How you doing, Brother Alfonso? This is your brother Arnell.
Oh, I'm all right. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I thank you for the topic that you brought up there, because this is a big deal in our community, and it's been a big deal for many, many years. But it's just that it's one of those things that people just sweep up and, you know, put it in the the dustbin and just keep on rolling, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to the people you were accusing of doing it, and you hit the nail on the head when you said the boyfriend, and that's a lot of times that's the one that's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And you got these mothers that feel that they can't get no other man, so they don't want to accuse this man because they don't want to lose him, and it's more important than their own children to have this man. And they don't have somebody do that to your children. You don't have no man.
Right.
He came there for the children. He ain't really come there for you, probably, you know.
Right. Boyfriend's molesting the daughter, molesting the son. And then, you know, the kids are scared to tell. And then if they do mention something to the mother slaps them around for lying or whatever, you know. And that's why I'm saying dial 911. Let's get the ball rolling for real.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you got to go outside the family. You got to dial 911.
That's right. We got to get rid of that attitude about telling. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what the police get paid for. Tell.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And we have to also get rid of the idea that going to counseling means that something's wrong with you. Right. Going to counseling could be a great thing. I mean, I went through counseling when I got divorced, and it was the greatest thing I did because, boy, the things they were doing to me in court and lying, man, I'm about to lose my mind, man, you know?
Yep. Yeah, counseling.
And that person, then having that person to talk to means a lot, man. This person was still my good friend to this day, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Counseling, we got a problem with that, but I don't think, I think we got to get rid of these little things that keep us from really reaching our potential as human beings. We have to...
we have enough trouble just being black without all the extra stuff like that.
Right. But, you got to tell, man. You got to tell.
Man, I had just turned it on and I heard you and I said, wow, this is something that we hardly ever talk about. It's been going on for the longest, man.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, some people are asking what's wrong with the kids. And a lot of these children are being sexually violated.
Oh, yeah.
By, in many cases, members of their own family.
Mm-hmm.
You know, incest, stuff like that is going on, and ancestral relationships with their brothers and their uncles and stuff like that, and even their fathers. And, you know, that stuff is really destroying people, man. And like I said, it doesn't matter how much you talk about education and economics and violence. Man, this doggone sexual violation stuff is right up there with all of that stuff, and it needs to be dealt with because there's too much of it going on, and there's too many lives being destroyed.
That's right. We need to go out our way to protect our children, man. I grew up as my son grew up with a single dad, and I raised my son by myself. But I didn't just bring any woman in my house, man, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't know what comes with that, too. You know, the woman do it, too, and she can have a brother that do it. All that company stuff and not knowing who people are is a big problem, man.
You know, and it's another thing I wanted to talk about, too. These doggone outfits where you letting your daughters leave the house with these little tiny shorts on.
Mm-hmm.
Or up there at the park with these teensy weensy bathing suits on.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on is people are walking around in their damn underwear disguised as shorts and bathing suits.
That's true.
These little young girls walking around in their underwear, and because they got flowers on it, it's called a bathing suit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying, no, man.
Mm-hmm.
If you wouldn't let your child walk around in the public in their underwear, what's the difference with this two-piece thing? You know, and so it's kind of crazy, you know, even with these shorts right now that's going on. Same thing. Girls walking around here with shorts, with underwear disguised as shorts. Long as you call them shorts, they ain't underwear no more. I'm like, no, that's some damn underwear. These bathing suits is some damn underwear. And you throw some flowers on the underwear, or you make the underwear out of jean material, and then they call it shorts and bathing suits. It's damn underwear, and it's like right now it's just this normal accepted thing with these really young girls walking around in their underwear, disguised as some kind of real clothing, and it's bogus. And
Well, even they know it. They know what they're doing too. Because one day I was in Hartford, downtown, and I'm getting on the bus, and this girl had some thongs on with the apple bottom jeans. And when she stepped one foot on the bus, I saw her whole butt. I mean, whole cheek. And I was like, oh my God. I said, let me tell this girl. And his brother that was in back of me said, man, she know, man, mind your business. She with her mother. They know. And I'm like, really? He said, yeah, that's the style now.
But they ain't even got the jeans on no more. It's just straight up walking around with your underwear, claiming they shorts.
Unbelievable, man.
Claiming it's a bathing suit. So a young lady, a young mother in the salon asked me, well, what would you suggest, a young girl wear? And I said, they got those full one-piece bathing suits. I mean, you got a girl 12 and under with that little dress thing, the little tutu thing that's at the bottom of it. I said, to me, that makes sense, but to be putting your daughter who's 12 and under in a two-piece underwear set with flowers, calling it a bathing suit, is bogus. And up here at this Six Flags,
oh, they get crazy.
all of these perverts and violators are up there at the damn.
Oh, they be having wet T-shirt contests in the water park. Really, I mean, they don't know it, but that's what they're having.
At the water park, just it's crazy. So, it's ways to not make yourself a victim or I don't understand the mind of a mother or father who lets their 12-year-old or 10-year-old leave the house in some damn underwear disguised as a bathing suit. I don't get that. That ain't no bathing suit. It's underwear. And I'm just, and these the shorts, I think that's why I really fortunate enough to not have daughters, because I'll probably just be in a fight all the time. There's no way that I would. There's no way that these shorts and these underwear, these young girls walking around would be acceptable to me, especially in this day and time with all of these molesters on the prowl, man. I just don't. It's like people just turning a blind eye. Don't you realize every doggone day some young girl is disappearing? This just baffling me, and this sexual violation thing is just really out of hand, and people need to open their eyes and recognize that this thing is real.
Well, check this out though. For the parents who won't allow that kind of behavior and that kind of dress, I saw a remedy for that. One day I went to McDonald's early in the morning to get a coffee, and I see 6 young girls all go in the bathroom, and they had their little stash, and they changed their clothes and wear their little fresh clothes, and then before they go home, they go in the bathroom and change their clothes back and throw the clothes in their bag. But sometimes it's not, the parents don't even know they got that stuff.
Well, that kind of behavior has been going on for decades, but now you're talking about young teenagers. I'm talking about girls 12 and under. They're not doing that.
Yeah, no.
And I'm saying their parents are allowing them to be walking around like that. I mean, if they up at that water park and they're not in the damn swimming pool, they need a towel or they need some kind of drape or cape or something.
You need to take that off. If you're not in the swimming pool area no more, you need to take that off.
Right, but they're walking around the park in these underwear.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, just walking around the park in these underwear, and it's just kind of wild to me, especially with what's going on with this sexual molestation stuff.
You go to certain places, there's a whole lot of sexual predators that they stash in there. Like I used to live in Bristol, and in Bristol there's a lot of them, and you'll find these old guys, 40-something years old, 50, still live with their parents. I mean, there's tons of them that they stash right in communities like that.
Hold up, what you trying to say about somebody 40 and 50 living with their parents? What does that have to do with the price of butter? Now, hold up, you're making a real general accusation here. I got to know what you're talking about, because I don't know if I'm endorsing that one.
I've seen a lot of that in Bristol, and I researched it in Bristol. And you see a lot of these guys, and they're older guys, little on the kooky end, these white guys, and you see them still live with their parents. They're 40 and 50 years old, and creepy guys. And I had one right next door to my father-in-law, and he used to sit through into bushes and try to peek at the kids, and I had to confront him because I found out that he was on a sexual predator list, and he was watching all the kids play and stuff. You know? And this became a norm. I was finding a lot of this.
Well, if anybody with common sense would realize what better place for a sexual predator than the water park, especially when their parents allow them to be walking around in this underwear, in these underwear. And the other thing too is our young boys need to watch out for sexual predators in these religious houses
I know
too.
I went to Catholic school, and I'm quite sure the priests was messing with some of them guys because they turned out, Jay, because they would start acting like that when they became altar boys.
Well, for a long time that behavior was generally accepted in the Catholic Church, and recently it's been getting out more, so they kind of trying to do something about it, but it was a generally understood and accepted behavior. Even if you go back to the historical origin of the Catholic Church, the behavior with the Romans, and at one time back then it was just standard procedure to have a young 13-year-old boy as a sexual toy and just had a wife to have babies. So that practice is just something that's embedded in the history. So as it relates to the Catholic Church nowadays, certain things are being identified as politically incorrect and pointed out. So it's a big deal now, but it's something that's been going on long as the church existed. But
I think what you're saying could be brought out in a list too, man. Some kind of list. I think it's a good topic, man, that you brought up, and there should be some kind of list about what to beware of and stuff. But what I brought up to you is real, though. That's a MO for a sexual predator living with the parents. No joke.
Really?
Ask the police. Ask the police. They'll tell you that.
I can dig it. I never knew that.
But these things need to be on the list, and they need to get given to kids
I didn't know that.
and parents.
You learn something new every day.
Mm-hmm.
But this sexual violation stuff is real. We need to be aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's summertime. We need to really think about allowing our young girls to be running around here in their underwear.
Well, I think you do an incredible job, and you blew it out the box this week. That's a topic. As a matter of fact, I was talking to somebody about something like that today. That's a topic we don't even discuss. We just let it just keep happening, and nobody really makes a big point and an issue out of it. I appreciate that.
All right, my brother. I got to give you a call, find out when you want to come on, because it's the new season, and we got some weeks to do some things.
Okay, give me a call, man, whenever you're ready.
All right. Thanks for calling.
And thank you for being you, man. Thank you for your topic, man.
All right, thanks. Peace.
All right, peace, bro. All right.
Yeah, that's the other part I wanted to talk about, this letting your kids run around in these underwear. Young girls running around in these two-piece brine panties that they call bathing suits. That's bogus. You really need to quit. We need to quit playing. There ain't no doggone bathing suit. It's underwear. And if you won't let your child run around in their underwear out here in the public, why would you let them run around with some underwear with a flower on it that's called a bathing suit? Somebody help me somebody explain that to me. Help me understand the idea of allowing your young daughter, your young niece, to run around in these two-piece bathing suits when it's really actually underwear in public, but you won't let them run around in their underwear. How does that work? And these shorts is just straight up underwear nowadays too. These shorts are underwear. I don't care what anybody says. These shorts are underwear. If you have anything you want to say, The number is 860-524-8920. Again, the number is 860-524-8920. If you have any questions, comments, thoughts, or anything else you want to put on the table, you can do it. 860-524-8920. The line is open. You know, you heard me say line. We only got one line. So the line is open. 860-524-8920. And we got to protect our young boys. We got to protect our young boys. Let me fix my face. I don't understand it. But there are a lot of men out here who like to hump young boys. We got to protect our young boys from sexual predators. This men humping young boys thing, it's out of control too. We have to protect our young boys from sexual predators. Their lives are damaged forever. We have to protect our young girls from sexual predators. Their lives are damaged forever. We have to protect our women from these women beaters and abusers. These men that beat up women. And in that case, especially with grown women, it's tough for us to help protect them when they don't have the wherewithal to protect themselves. So we need our women to protect. You know, again, that self-respect is important. You got to be interested in protecting yourself before anybody can help you. And the first thing is to dial 911 or find the shelter, because the shelters are, you know, they're secretive and private, and, you know, the person won't be able to catch up with you or contact you or find out where you are unless you go telling a whole bunch of people and then they go through them. But, you know, for the most part, you can, there is protection out there. You don't have to stay in an abusive situation. Life is just like so unbelievably large. There's so much to life. And so many of us are missing out on it because we're hanging out in foul situations. 860-524-8920 if you want to comment. 860-524-8920. Now this is some painful stuff, man. I watched some people at this seminar really dealing with some pain, man. You know, pain, young girls when their own brother, uncle, father sexually molesting them. You know, and then I don't care what anybody says. You know, you got to keep a close damn eye on the stepfather business. In this day and age, it's just necessary. You got a young daughter or young son, and you got a boyfriend, and he ain't their father, damn it. You just got to damn keep an eye on it. It's just real. Because this stepfather thing is getting out of hand with the sexual abuse. It's out of hand also. And I'm not condemning all stepfathers. I'm just saying it's just the best thing you can do for your children. You still got to look out for them. You got to protect them first. They have to come first. This is, again, no condemnation of all stepfathers, because there's some great stepfathers out there for sure. But if you are the mother of children and you bring another man in their environment, you got to look out for them. You got to always check with them, always talk to them, always ask questions to make sure nothing foul is going on. Because there are also a lot of stepfathers out there humping the damn daughters, humping the young sons. We have some really foul things going on in our community, and that's just real. It's not just shooting and killing each other. but we're violating each other sexually. Big time. Dial 911 right now if you're being violated. Right now. Call 911, get some help. Call them now. The number, if you have a question, a comment, a thought, some input, 860-524-8920. Again, the number is 860-524-8920. And if you are a sexual predator and you are out there molesting somebody right now as we speak, you need to call 911 on your damn self, because you need some help too. You're destroying lives. Destroying lives. And you need help too. So dial 911 right now. Call 911 on your damn self. If you are a physical abuser of women, you need some help. You need to call somebody and have a chat with somebody to get it together. Because there's clearly something wrong. Something is twisted in your mindset that will allow you to believe it's okay to beat up women. There's something out of bounds with the thought process. And if you really need some power, go buy a dog, so that at least you can tell the dog to sit down and shut up and give somebody some instructions and some orders. Have somebody depending on you for something. Because most cases when men don't have that is when they start doing this abusive stuff, empowering themselves by abusing women. If you really want to empower yourself, buy a damn dog and give that dog some instructions. And not only that, but a dog that loves you will give you some feelings you ain't never experienced. That dog to be the same happy every single damn day, like they just got to know you all over again every day. A dog is a beautiful thing to have if you need some attention, some love, and some wonderful feeling associated with being wanted and needed. So when I say buy a dog, I'm not joking. A dog works wonders in the lives of many people. Yes, caller, make it plain.
Hey, how you doing, Fonda?
All right.
Well, I want to address that when you said the young girls dressing the babies with these panties and whatever they have on.
Yeah, I said they walk around in underwear disguised as a bathing suit.
Well, I see I see your point, but at the same time, you said 12 and 11 under. You have to understand, the mothers is barely over 20 or 25, 27 years old. So they are dressing way out of line, so they probably don't see. They think dressing their babies and these provocative clothes, they think it's cool. You get what I'm saying? Because they're young themselves. So when these sexual predators get at them, it's a whole big uproar. They should have, the women out here should have common sense and know what's going on. I watch the news every night, and I watch Nancy Grace, and every little girl getting kidnapped, picking up from the bedroom, all these molesters. It's just ridiculous. So the young mothers have to understand, you know, and TV, and my TV got a big effect
Input.
on that too. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, but that's why I'm saying it tonight, because maybe some people never heard it like that before. Maybe they never really realized they're playing games with themselves thinking it's a two-piece bathing suit. No, it's some damn underwear. That's what's going on. You got them running around in underwear. And if you won't let them run around in their underwear in public in general, why would you let them run around in underwear with a flower on it that's called a bathing suit? And you know, these guys up here at this, and I keep talking about this doggone, what's the place up there at the park where they have the water slides and all that stuff? Well, whatever that is, that water world up there. I mean, sexual predators hang out there, man. And I believe personally that they're following certain people home to find out where they're living and all of that other kind of stuff. And I'm just putting it out here so people can
Lake
think.
Compound.
Huh?
Lake Compound?
No, up here at Six Flags. Up here at Six Flags, they got this water park. And what I'm saying is if people aren't thinking about it, they don't realize there are sexual predators that's hanging out up there and even following people home looking for an opportunity to violate and with these girls running around with their underwear on. And you know, it's not just the 12 and under, but I'm saying, come on with the 12 and unders walking around in bikinis, man. It's nothing but underwear. And then you have the older girls, it's just clearly underwear called a bikini. You know, it's just clearly women walking around in underwear. And then even after they're no longer in the water park, they're walking around in their underwear going on rides and stuff. You know, it's just kind of crazy. And I'm saying,
I agree with you. I think the official at any park in Connecticut or Springfield, they should have a code, a dress code. Let the parents know, look, you're done with the water ride, tell them to put their clothes on and go have fun, because it's not right.
yeah, you got to put on some clothes to go through the rest of the park. When you leave that water park, you got to put on some clothes. But this thing, man, oh my goodness, it's just crazy, and it's just wild. Because I was saying, does anybody other than me realize that all of these women walking around in their damn underwear?
Oh, I agree with you. When I pick up my niece from school, and I'm thinking I'm taking her to a college, a big time college. It's all over. The schools, the middle school, it just got out of hand. They talking about the new uniforms. Oh, please. I seen a young girl, a uniform. Her skirt was up to her navel. It was just ridiculous.
So we just have to be more aware. That's all. We have to be more aware. We have to be more aware because this sexual abuse thing is out of hand. And any of these young people out there who are being sexually violated need to dial 911 now and call somebody and tell. They need to tell somebody.
They throwing these sexual predators all over Connecticut. Let them live anywhere, and they just sit in their windows and watch. It's just ridiculous.
Well, the reality is we don't know who the sexual predators are or where they are.
Are you going to computer?
Well, no, I'm just saying in general. We don't know who they are or where they are, so we have to conduct ourselves in a way you don't want your child to become a victim of a sexual predator. You dig?
And you know the sad part about it is, it don't have to be a bum on the street.
It's not about that. It can be anybody. We got fathers and uncles and boyfriends violating young girls and boys, so it can be anybody. I want to thank you for calling, my brother. I'm about to be out.
All right, Rondo.
All right, be back next week. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. This is Alfonso McGriff III on Make It Plain. And just be more aware of what we're doing. Be more aware that we kind of putting our young kids on the stroll when we let them walk around in their underwear in public places. This is Alfonso McGriff, Make It Plain. I'm out, y'all. Peace.